friends. Today I'm here to share with you all of the books that I read in the month of June. I don't know if you can tell on the video, but we are rocking second day braids because honestly I was too lazy to wash my hair when I took a shower and it was easier to leave the braids in. So, let's talk about some books. The first thing that I read in the month of June was Super Fun Sexy Times by Meredith McLaren. And this is an erotic graphic novel short story set. I think there were five short sexy comics featuring superheroes, supervillains, sidekicks, and the people who love them. I gave this one 3 stars. I thought it was good, but I don't like short stories, and I didn't like short stories in graphic novel form either. The next book I read was Chasing Cassandra by Lisa Kleypas. This is the newest book in her Ravenel series. I gave this one 3 stars. This is Tom Severin and Cassandra Ravenel. And due to, her reputation, they end up, marriage of convenience type thing. And I gave it 3 stars because it just that was it. There was not really a lot more to it. And I think, honestly, I've come to expect more from a Lisa Kleypas book, and this one just didn't quite hit the mark for me. Next up was The Princess Trap by Talia Hibbert. This one, I picked it up because it really sounded like, what's that movie, The Prince and Me, where she kind of starts to fall for the guy and then finds out he's a prince, and it's kind of thrust her into this princess situation, which is basically what happened. But I ended up giving this one only a 3 stars because there were things touched upon it within the royal family system that I really thought they were going to do, that Talia Hibbert was going to do more with, and I just don't think I think she kind of pushed it to the back burner for the sexy times, which I'm okay with. They were fantastic, but I just kind of wished it had touched a little bit more on that. Then I read Beautifully Broken Pieces by Catherine Cowles. This is book 1 in her Sutter Lake series. I gave this one 4 stars. This is a small town romance about a woman who basically she's lost her entire family after her mother passes away. And so her and her friends go on this lake vacation, and she decides that she's going to move to this small town where the lake is. And she ends up meeting and falling for he was some type of police officer. I forget what exactly it was that he did. But he's kind of got his own, past dealing with the death of a, was it a fiance or was it his girlfriend? I don't remember. But I really appreciated this in the fact that these two people kind of grieved together, kind of had to, his grieving was for a past relationship, and he had to kind of come to terms with what moving on to an actual relationship meant. And there was a bit of a little thriller aspect, I guess you'd call it, that I really liked. So, yes, 4 stars for this one. Then I read The Forbidden Man by Karina Halley. This is my Bookworm Box edition. I gave this one 3 stars because I was a bit disappointed in this one. This one is about a woman who is a physical therapist, and she leaves the soccer football team that she works for in England and goes to Spain to work for one of those teams. And she ends up in this forbidden relationship with one of the players that is on the team. And I just kind of thought this was going to be an epic, epic romance. But it wasn't really. They got together pretty quickly. Over and over again, this is forbidden, but we're doing it anyway. And it's just, not what I wanted from the story, but I did like it, so I gave it 3 stars. Then I read King of Shadows by Amelia Wilde. This is book 1. I don't know what the series is called, but it does this thing that I kind of don't like in romances where the one couple is drawn out between within a trilogy. But yeah, I actually did give this one 4 stars. I was very into it. I was really feeling the relationship, and then it kind of cut off at the end, and yeah, I don't know. I will probably continue on with this series. I don't think I said it's a Hades and Persephone retelling, but I don't know how accurate it was to the Hades and Persephone story because I don't know much about that. Other than their names, was it a real retelling? I don't know. But I did really enjoy it, and I probably would continue on with the series. My favorite book of the month was A Duke by Default by Alyssa Cole. This is book 2 in her Reluctant Royal series. I gave this one 5 stars. The heroine is the friend who did some questionable things in book 1, and she takes an internship in Scotland. Yes, in Scotland. And she goes to be this, basically like an apprentice to a sword maker. Sure there's a term. But the hero is actually that sword maker that she is interning with. And yes, I love this. He was an A+++++ grumpy hero. And I did not know that I wanted to read a grumpy hero until I saw him. And I loved it so much. Next was About That Kiss by Jill Shalvis. This is book number something in her Heartbreaker Bay series. This is about Kylie and Joe, and they had a kiss kind of in like the corner of a party in a previous book, but Joe does not call Kylie after that, and then he works for the security company, and she needs his help finding something, and he kind of decides from helping her that there was some relationship stuff that he needed to work through. But this one was good. I rated this one 4 stars. I think that's been a pretty consistent rating for me for this Heartbreaker Bay series. Next was a bit of a surprise for me. I was really excited to read it, but I didn't know if I was going to like it or not. But I did. I rated it 4 stars. This is Half Truths by Claire Contreras. This is book 1 in her, I think it's just called The Secret Societies series on Goodreads. But this is about a woman who transfers colleges junior or senior year, and she gets kind of engrossed in this secret society world at her new college and uncovers all these secrets about her family. I was super intrigued all throughout this book. I really liked the romance that was in this. I really felt like at first he was a bit secretive because he was, spoiler, I don't know, he's a member of the secret society that she's being inducted into. So he was real secretive at first, but I think once he started kind of figuring out what was going on too, he really jumped to her side, which I appreciate. And he didn't try to defend the people in the group who had done these bad things. But yes, I really liked that one, and I can't wait for book 2, which I think actually comes out in July. Another one that I really liked, it was Once Ghosted, Twice Shy by Alyssa Cole. This is, I think, technically book 2.5 in her Reluctant Royal series. I am so sorry for this name pronunciation. Likotsi, I think, is the, I guess she's kind of like a personal assistant to the prince in book 1. And in book 1, you kind of hear when they're in New York about her going off on her own, dates and everything. But right before they're leaving in book 1, she gets her heart broken. But now they're back in New York, and she ends up running into what's her actual name? Fabiola, who is the woman who essentially dumped her before they could really see what they had together. And this was so cute. I really liked getting to see not only them reconnecting, but also kind of what the thought process was when they were originally first dating, and why Fabiola ended up ghosting Likotsi. Then one of my most anticipated releases of the year came out, and that was The Last Train to Key West by Chanel Cleeton. I ended up giving this one 4 stars. This is about 3 women and the 1935 hurricane that basically decimated the Florida Keys, and I really liked each of these women. They were flawed, but they were dealing with things the best that they could. There was a little bit of a, mafia type situation. I don't want to spoil too much, but there was a little bit of a situation which, again, I wish it had been explored a little bit more. I felt like the ending was really abrupt, closing up that particular storyline. So I did give it 4 stars, but I did love it. I love this cover. I love this dress. Sunflowers are my favorite flower, and I need this dress, and I need to be in Key West. It's as simple as that. Then I just wanted a quick, short, fun read, so I picked up Attracting Aubrey by Avery Flynn. I went into this knowing that it was probably going to be a 3 stars, and that's exactly what I gave it. This Gone Wild series is 5 books written by 5 different authors. This is the third one that I've read. And I'm not a novella short story type person, and I don't feel like I get connected to these characters at all. This one was supposed to be, I think Avery Flynn said she wrote it about one of her author friends who's obsessed with Chris Evans playing Captain America. So that's essentially what the hero was somebody who's been in these big budget superhero films. And he's on this singles cruise, which is the premise of the series. And he meets Aubrey, who's the, I think she ran, a fan Instagram account or something. I don't know. It was alright. Nothing amazing, nothing I'm going to remember, but it was good. Another new release that came out in June was The Dare by Elle Kennedy. This is book 4 in the Briar U series, and I believe this wraps up the off-campus Briar U series world. This is about Connor and Taylor. Connor's on the hockey team. Taylor is a sorority girl who has a bit of a frenemy situation with some of the sisters in her sorority that essentially dare her to take Connor upstairs at a party and hook up with him. So she goes over to him, explains the dare, explains the situation, says she does not want to hook up with him, and they go upstairs and pretend to hook up. But then that leads, I think it was actually Connor's idea to pretend to fake date, and yeah. It was cute, it was good, 4 stars. Honestly, it's probably only a 3 star, but with it being the last in the series, it had a lot of nostalgia in it for me, so I did give it 4 stars. Finally, the last book that I read in the month was Call It What You Want by Brigid Kemmerer. This is about Rob and Megan. Rob used to be the big man on campus, popular guy in their high school, but his dad ended up in this really big financial scandal, and there's basically most of the people at his school had invested with his dad, and everybody hates him now because it was his dad that lost them all their money. And Megan was in I don't know if they ever actually say it, I don't know if it's a spoiler or not, but she was in a bit of a scandal of her own, which has lost her the trust of a lot of people, and basically they kind of find each other at the right moment when they're dealing with all of this, and Brigid Kemmerer writes beautiful, beautiful YA contemporary. I did give it 4 stars, I don't think I said. So those are the books that I read in the month of June. I am still playing around with how I want to format my monthly wrap-ups. Originally I had thought doing them twice a month would help, but I don't do it. When I plan to do it that way, I just don't. And then I tried my top books of the month, and then I felt really bad that I wasn't giving the attention to the other books that I read. So I want to try it this way with kind of shorter reviews of all of the books. Let me know what you thought about that instead of going too in-depth, just kind of touching over the synopsis a little bit and why I rated it the way I rated it. So let me know what you think. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!